Welcome to Family Together. My name is Reggie. I'm Brielle.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Anna. And we are here for 15 minutes every week for Family Together time. This is a time for all ages, doesn't matter how old you are. We want to learn more about God, we want to connect with Him, and we want to learn some stuff that's going to help us through the rest of the week. This is just a tiny part of your week. But if we can give you some tools, Benji's appeared with a toolbox, that was unplanned. We can give you some tools and skills to help you connect with God in the normal everyday. That's what it's all about, guys. That's where the discipleship happens. That's where we get to meet God and know Him and do life with Him.
Mm-hmm. So what the tool we've been looking at recently is prayer. We've been spending the last 2 weeks thinking about prayer, how we can be ready to talk with God, hear from Him, catch what He's saying to us, and communicating with us at any time. That's what we've been looking at the last few weeks. So this week is going to be kind of a recap of all the different things that we've been thinking about and all the different ways that we've been learning.
And we're also going to be encouraging you to be persistent, to keep on keeping on. So we're going to start off with a game which requires a bit of persistence and a bit of patience. I don't know how many of you have played. Who knows what this game's called?
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo! So we are going to play Human Buckaroo. So you need to choose. Oh, so how you play Buckaroo is this is a mule, and you have to try and hang lots of different things onto him. But don't worry if you don't have a buckaroo at home. All you need is a member of your family. Brielle, I think you have been selected for our family. To go on their hands and knees.
I'll be right back.
There we are. And you're going to need to put your, that's it, nice flat back. She's going to be the mule, and you're going to take it in turns to pick some random household items and put them onto your mule. I was going to say your buckaroo, that's not what it's called. And that person has to stay really still. Now, when it's the other person's turn, you cannot touch the person. Ooh. You cannot touch them, but you can try and make them laugh. So if you want to put them off and make it a little bit harder for the other person, you are very welcome. Ball is a bit tricky. You are very welcome to try and make them laugh. I think Bookie and her family are going to help us with this, so let's see how they got on.
You put your first item on. Okay. Quickly, if you're too slow, it's going to knock it off. My turn, young lady. I'm going to use the fat ones. So your turn.
So have fun playing that at home. You might want to switch up who is the mule. Thanks so much for getting involved. We are going to worship now with our song of the month, Pray at All Times. Do join in. We hope you got a hang of the actions and the words by now and get this stuck in your head at some other times as well.
Feeling sad, when things go bad, don't get mad, just pause and pray. When it don't feel fair, in your favorite armchair, wherever you dare, come on and pray.
Our final week on prayer, so we're going to have a little bit of a recap on what it's all about. Now, at some points we've been calling it chat and catch. We mean exactly the same thing, but we thought we'd have a reminder of what those words mean.
So chatting to God is just being ready to talk to Him about anything, anywhere, anytime, however you're feeling, whatever you're doing.
So sometimes we say chat just because prayer sounds like maybe a bit scary or like you have to do it in a certain way. So just remember, God's with you all the time. Chat to Him about anything. And it's a two-way conversation. So we also talk about catching, about being ready to receive.
You're ready.
Whoa! Oh, I wasn't. I think that's the first fail we've had.
That was a powerful word.
So, not many people hear an audible voice of God, hear God like their mum or their dad as a voice. Though there are people in the Bible who heard God like that. But God often speaks to us in words or pictures or thoughts or ideas, feelings, dreams, the Bible, things that other people say. So we've got to be ready. We don't just want to say things and think, okay, that's disappearing into nowhere. But we want to know this is a two-way conversation and be ready to catch what God has to say back. So let's think about what we have looked at over the last month.
So we've talked about stopping to make time to pray.
And just pausing, and that we actually had to make some space for that. We also talked about saying thank you, that it's so important to have a grateful attitude, all the different ways we can say that with different actions and words. We looked at Psalm 100, and yeah, I hope you've been able to be thankful since we did that.
We also talked about fasting.
And that has, we've just had our prayer and fasting weekend at church, so you might have tried that in a little way, or watched some people in your house do that. But we saw some amazing stories, people like Moses and Esther and Jesus himself, that when they fasted and prayed, amazing things happened.
We also talked about not being put off when our prayers aren't answered quite in the way that we expect.
And that it's okay to be disappointed when we ask God for something and it doesn't happen the way we wanted. We looked at the story of Lazarus and how his sisters asked Jesus to come and to make him better, and he didn't, he died. But God used that powerfully for his glory, and sometimes that's what's going on when we're struggling as well. The other thing, just across these whole 5 weeks, is that we've been learning the Lord's Prayer. This is what Jesus taught his disciples, his friends, to pray. It's a brilliant model and pattern for prayer. You can learn it and just pray it as it is. You can kind of take the themes from it. I wonder how you have been getting on. Have you managed to learn any of it? Let's have a little recap from our church family of the words and the actions, and do join in if you can.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For the kingdom, the power and the glory are yours,
both now and forever. Amen.
So this week, we just wanted to end the series with an encouragement to keep going, keep praying, doesn't matter, anywhere, anytime, any place. Keep being ready to catch and receive what God has back. And even if you don't get an answer straight away, or it's not the answer you're expecting, keep going. God wants to hear our prayers. Jesus told a parable, which is a story to help his friends and the people who are listening to understand about this. So I'm going to ask Matt to read that now. If you've got a Bible, if you look it up, it's in Luke chapter 18, verses 1 to 5.
Here we go. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared about men. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. That means one of her enemies, someone she didn't get on with. For some time he refused. But finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care about men, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't wear me out with her questions.
Rachel and Paul and Rayma have taken this story and done a sort of modern retelling of it for us, which is really fun. And Rachel also explains that it's something that's been really significant to her, and that in her life she's had to keep praying and not give up and really keep asking God for a miracle.
As we are going through this series of persistent prayer, I remembered about I was asking God for a miracle, healing miracle for the past 25 years. And sometimes I felt discouraged even after seeing gradual improvement for that problem. But I was so encouraged by reading this story of persistent widow in the Bible, and that God will definitely answer my prayer and I have to keep asking. And Paul and Rayma are going to act this theme of this story as Paul being the unrighteous judge and Rayma being the little girl who lost her favorite teddy called Annie.
just my helper. Please, please, can you find my Annie? What a surprise, okay. But can't you see I'm doing my Lego here? Just go somewhere else to find her, right? Okay, sorry. I need a nap. I can't find my favorite Teddy Annie. I'm so sad about her. Please, can you go somewhere else? You keep on disturbing me. I need to have a nap. Okay, sorry. Bye. Please, can you find my favorite, my Annie? I'm so sad about it. Boo-boo quarter. Okay, oh fine, but only because I can have a nap. Okay, here we go. I guess this is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that story and that encouragement. That's so helpful. So keep on, guys. Keep praying. So we thought we couldn't really end the session without actually doing some praying. So we're going to do a little bit of chat and catch now. So we're just going to have some time to connect with God, to talk to him and to be ready to receive what he has to say back. I suggest you find somewhere comfy. Close your eyes, not because there's anything special or magical about that, but just because it helps you not to get distracted, okay? And Brielle and I are going to give you some ideas of some things to chat to God about. So you can do it just in your head, you can write it down, you can whisper into your hands if it's tricky to do things in your head, or just say it quietly. But just bear in mind, it's a conversation between you and God. It's not for the other people in your household to hear, okay? So when you're ready, Brielle, do you want to start with one?
Ask God what makes him laugh.
Ask God what makes him laugh. So she started with a catching one. So say, God, what makes you laugh? Just see what comes to mind. Might be a picture, a thought, a word, a feeling, an idea. Okay, I'm going to do one now. Why don't you tell God a word that you find hard to spell? We can tell God about things like that, even things that we find tricky to spell.
I haven't got it in my hand.
Yeah, okay, your turn.
Tell God about the last time you hurt yourself.
Tell God about the last time you hurt yourself. So we'll do it as well. So just close your eyes a minute. Tell God the last time you hurt yourself. You might want to show him where it hurt and tell him if it's still hurting. Okay, should we do some from this side? Why don't you tell God the person who encourages you the most? Just pitch them in your mind or say their name. Who encourages you the most at the moment? You might want to thank God for them as well. Okay.
Tell or show God your favourite colour.
Tell or show God your favourite colour. So if you can see something in the room that is your favourite colour, you can point that out to God, or you can just tell him what it is. Right, that's quite a quick one, so I'm going to move on. Tell God, if you wrote a book, what would it be about? Some of you will know instantly. Some of you might have to think a little bit more. Okay. Ready for another one, Brielle?
Tell God about a chance that has happened and how you feel about it.
Where's that one?
Change.
Oh, a change. Tell God about a change that has happened. It might be a chance as well, but tell him about a change that's happened in your life and how you're feeling about it. Might take a little bit longer, that one. Okay, and I'm going to go for another catch one. We haven't had catch for a while. Ask God about a time when he came close to you. Say, God, would you show me, would you remind me of a time when you came really close to me? Now, you can say amen if you want. We sometimes say at the end of prayers, but you don't have to. You can have little snatch conversations with God all throughout the day. Or you can sit down for a longer period of time and still just chat and catch with him like that. We have been, you probably saw we were reading off something. This was a list I made a little while ago of 101 ideas of things to chat and catch with God about. We've used it before. But for your family activity this week, I would love you to turn it into a treasure hunt. Who likes treasure hunts in our house?
Me!
very popular. So think of some things to chat to God about. Benji, think of some things you'd like to tell God about or ask him, those sort of things, and I will give you a copy of this so you can just take them off there if you don't want to think them up. And I would love you to cut them out and hide them around your house. Are you guys going to do this? Yeah? Do you want to go and get some scissors, start snipping? Benji's on it. Hide them around your house. Then you can either do a map so people find out where they are, or they could just be hidden so that people will suddenly go into the bathroom and be like, oh, it said to tell God this. And, oh, while I'm getting my coat, I'll chat to God about this. And that's really just a reminder that this isn't just for Sunday and it's not just for church time, but to keep chatting to God and keep being ready to catch from him wherever you are, any time of day and night and whatever you're doing. So that was our activity and our challenge today. I've also got a little sneak preview because it's nearly December, it's nearly Christmas time, and next month, can you hear Benji snipping? Next month we are going to be looking at comfort and joy. That's our theme for Christmas. So we've got from the Church of England actually a comfort and joy advent calendar, and it's got some ideas of some things to pray about and think about. So I'll share that as well. Bit of a spoiler for next week.
Hey YouTube, thanks so much for checking us out today. Here are 3 ways you can take a next step with us.
1. Find out more about who Jesus is.
2. Connecting with our community online.
And 3. Help continue our mission by supporting us through giving. All you need to do is click on the link in the description.
We hope you're enjoying all our content, and if you want more, hit that subscribe button.